Hi, everybody. Just wanted to kind of show you a little something. I know a lot of us have maybe some Easter leftovers left over from our Easter feasts that we just had, and I wanted to show you a cool way that you could kind of do something a little bit different. I wanted to show you how to do some really quick and easy pork fried rice. If you don't want to get takeout, you might not feel comfortable getting takeout right now, which I hope you actually do because we need to support restaurants. But if you just want to try something really cool on your own, this is so quick and simple, and pretty much everybody can do it. Let me run through the list of ingredients that we've got here. Most of the stuff you should have in your house, but really you can kind of throw anything in here that you want as far as vegetables. I'm going to be using leftover ham from our Easter feast today, but if you're not into ham or you don't have any more ham, you can use chicken. But I also would recommend using something like this, shaved steak, like really thinly cut steak. If it's a thicker steak, not a big deal. You'll just cube it up. And I think this is just going to make some really good fried rice today, so I'm ready. I do have a couple friends. I'm looking at you, Charlie Chandler, that is amazing at this, and he's got a lot of different sauce recipes. So I hope he actually watches this and then puts some sauce recipes up there. Anyway, I just went for a run, as you can probably tell. Cleaned myself up just a little bit, but when I'm done with the run, I really crave something awesome like some fried rice. I usually don't eat a whole lot of breakfast because if I run, my stomach gets a little. So this is a great way to pack some nutrition in and get everything going pretty well and holds me over till dinner really, really nicely. I'm going to make a lot of it today, but you can kind of adjust anything. So first of all, rice. Whatever kind of rice you have in your house is going to work. Cook it to the package directions. If you're like me and we do get takeout from Asian Garden, which is across the street, and we did Peter Chang's the other day. It was amazing. We went down to Arlington to pick it up. It's just our favorite stuff. We wanted to treat ourselves. Use the white rice that they give you. If you don't eat it with the meal, put it in the fridge and it works perfectly. You need cooked rice for this. Whatever kind of cooked rice that you will do. I find this pretty often in the store. I love brown rice. I think it packs a lot of nutrition. I had a little bit yesterday, and then I made another pack today because I think Kevin's going to have some of this with me. What we've got going here on the stove, if you have a wok, that's fabulous. This is kind of a wok-like pan that I tend to use here at home. You're just going to do about 2 tablespoons of oil. You're not going to oversaturate anything with oil because it's just going to be greasy and weird. But about 2 tablespoons of oil, and you're trying to get this like pretty smoking hot. Got my cooked rice waiting. I got my ham. I'm going to chop that up at the end because it's already cooked. I'm just going to need to heat that through. So some of the vegetables and things that I'm using today, I have some fresh vegetables in there, but I'm finding that I'm starting to get more frozen vegetables. I just don't know what I'm going to be able to find in stores, so if I have some ideas about what I might do, I'll go ahead and I'll grab some stuff at the store. Always have some corn, frozen corn. If you have baby corn in the container, awesome, use that, but I'm going to use a little bit of corn. I actually got some sliced up carrots as well, and how I prepared those, I can give you a little bit of a showing here. I take them, and they're just in these little carrot coins, which are awesome, but I take them, and then I go halfway through with my knife, or all the way through. As long as you're on a cutting board, you're good to go. And then you go all the way through. So what you're doing is you're taking a carrot coin, and you're cutting it into 4. So you're winding up with triangles like this. You don't want to have like a big chunk of carrot in there. You want to make sure you're keeping your vegetables kind of small. Your girl is a Brussels sprout fan. Never liked them growing up. Became addicted to them when I was in culinary school a little while back. So I do have some fresh Brussels sprouts. I tend to have them in the house all the time. My family loves it when I stink up the house and I cook some Brussels sprouts for myself, but oh well, I cooked it. If I like it, I'm going to eat it. Anyway, here's a Brussels sprout, and this is going to be a little different. I'm going to cut that woody end off, little stem end, and then I'm going to use my knife. I'm going to do my claw, and I'm just going to shred. I just shred up and down this way. I'm just trying to get a really good cut on it. It may come out and do your little chiffonades that you like, something like this. You can see I did a bunch over here. But if it didn't do what it is that you want it to do, and you can have it whichever way you want. This is your stir fry. This is your fried rice. You can do whatever it is that you want. So I'm just going to go straight through just to get a little bit of a rough chop, chiffonade-ish thing going on here. That's going to sub in for my cabbage. If you have cabbage, oh, yeah, go ahead and use that. It'll work really, really great in here. But if you don't, like, I don't usually keep cabbage in the house, although technically Brussels sprouts are baby cabbage, so I guess I do. Anyway, I like Brussels sprouts, so that's what I'm doing with that. The other thing that I love, and I always wind up picking one up when I know I maybe don't have one, it's the thing that I tend to have where people are like, why do you have these things? You have like 5 cans of them. I love water chestnuts. Come in a can like this. You can get them sliced. They actually have them whole too. Doesn't matter either way. But I get them sliced and they look a little bit again like the carrot coin. And for this one, I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm just going in half. If you've never had water chestnuts before, they just add a crunch that I just can't describe. It gives you a really cool kind of crunch that adds something to your dish. I really love it. And so I highly recommend, if you can get your hands on some, use it. If not, it's all good. You can do whatever it is that you've got going on in your house. So I've got my pan. Looks like it's going here. You could also do onion. You could top it with green onion, or you could have whatever onion you have in the house. I wasn't feeling the onion today. I am feeling the garlic though, so I had some fresh garlic, and you guys can see my hands, I think, here. I'm going to show you. This is just a quick and easy way. A lot of people probably do it my way, but I put the heel of my knife down, and I take my palm and I just whack. Best way. Pops the garlic right out of the shell. Voila. And I'm going to be ready to cut this up, and probably the smaller the better. I know in some Asian dishes you can get really big chunks of garlic, and that's awesome. Awesome. If you like it like that, that's great. But I'm not a huge fan of that in my fried rice. So I'm going to do about 2 cloves of garlic in there. Won't be any vampires around me for a little while, unless it's a Cullen. Going back to Twilight references. I did like those movies and the books. Here we go again. You got the heel, pop, peel the garlic out. Again, a lot of you probably do that already. I know in my classes that's how we've done it. There are garlic peelers and stuff out there. Pampered Chef has some pretty cool products with it. Giving them a little shout out. They've really innovated a lot of different things, but I just like to use the heel of my hand and just do it like that. And if I smell a little like garlic after it, well, heck yeah, why not? Garlic's a good smell. Any hoodle, so I've got my 2 cloves of garlic here. Still got a lot of good heat. Moving on to some of the other ingredients before we start putting some things in. Well, some people put some things in at different rates. You can do that. In fact, I'll show you how to do that. I tend to throw everything in together because I'm impatient. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start by putting my garlic and my carrots in. That sizzle is what you want to hear, my friend. Notice I'm not putting the rice in yet. That's actually going to be the last thing that I put in. I don't want it to be too crunchy. The other thing that I love is to put some peas in. If you have sugar snap peas, you can chop those up, or you can peel the little peas out of the inside of them. Totally fine, whatever you want to do, your choice. It's your fried rice. So right now we've got the garlic and the carrots in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some peas in too. I'm going to do about 2 handfuls. Kevin doesn't like peas, so I'm going to put a little bit in. Anyway, I'm going to put about 2 handfuls in. It's really up to you, whichever way you want to do it. And this isn't sizzling as much as I would like it to, but that's okay. It's going to do what I need it to do eventually. I'm going to go ahead right now. I'm going to put my water chestnuts in and just let this thing crank. I may actually use my other burner here. I am very grateful. I have some awesome neighbors. The Nissen family, thank you to them. They got this into my hands so that I could do some demos here at home through this whole pandemic situation that we are all in. And because of them, I've been able to do these demos and some demos with my kids, which are amazing. Go ahead and move that. We're gonna get a little more heat behind it because I don't want these vegetables to like stew. We don't want that. And when the water comes out, it'll just kind of like boil them, and that's like not what fried rice is. Anywho, we've got this going. We've got the heat cranking up here. Let's talk about some of the seasonings. Now, this is where you can get really unique with it. When I get takeout Chinese food, or Asian cuisine, sometimes it tends to be a little bit salty for me. I know I grew up in a house where my mom has an MSG allergy. MSG is monosodium glutamate, and it really wakes up the flavor and everything. Really good. It brings a carrot to like carrot flavor. It's amazing, but it can cause people some serious stuff. And I know my mom gets headaches from it. And as I'm going through the aging process, I notice a little bit more that I'm super dehydrated after I eat takeout Chinese food or Asian food. So sometimes it's really good to have that. You should never deny yourself something that you're craving, as long as you do everything in moderation. But when I make it at home, I try to watch my sodium and any MSG that I can. So let's start with the staple with that. I do have soy sauce. Now, I've got reduced sodium soy sauce, and the reason why I did this is I have lots of fantastic students this year, lots of them. But I will tell you that from the time I met them in August, they're like, you've got to try this seasoning, you've got to try this sauce, you've got to do this. And they will supply me. They come in with all different kinds of seasonings. So I believe this was either Nick Diamond or Justin Price that came in this year and had this for me. And this is a habanero seasoning. It's tagine, and it's got a little bit of a lime spice in it. Might seem a little weird, but this has some salt content and some pop to it. You might also use it in Caribbean cuisine, maybe if you're doing a jerk chicken. I like it in this. I don't know. It's weird. I'm weird. It's fine. You can hear this is really picking up over here. You hear that sizzle? So right now that we've got some sizzle going on, I'm going to move it around in the pan here. I'm just using a wooden thing, just moving it around. It's all cooking up, starting to smell really good. I'm going to go ahead and add some of the dry seasoning in, and I'm going to wait a couple seconds to add some of the soy sauce, just a little bit, because this stuff is going to kick you in the butt. They warned me about that when they gave it to me. So true. I can never, ever make a stir fry or a fried rice without having this ingredient right here. This is sesame seed oil. Highly recommend. A little bit of it goes a long way. You don't fry in this, okay? This is more of an add-in towards the end. You're gonna see when I add it here in a minute. I'm actually gonna scramble some eggs in here, and you're gonna see that's when I add it. I'm actually gonna fry the eggs a little bit in this. I'm gonna use some canola oil, which is actually what I'm using right now. And I'm going to add some of this, but this is pure flavor at the end. If you haven't used it, try it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to carefully open my corn. I'm going to throw a little bit of corn in here. I think we're ready for it. Perfect. And again, you could use baby corn with that. Okay, so now just to give you a little review here, we have got water chestnuts. We have got peas, we have got corn, and we have got carrots and garlic all going in here. So here's the beauty of this. If you want broccoli in that, throw broccoli in it. If you want peppers in that, red, green, yellow, you could even do a little bit of jalapeno in there. I would be a little careful because it'll definitely pick up the heat factor. Might not be your jam. If it is, go for it. But that's what we've got in. This is where you can customize it. This is what I wanted to do today. There is, again, the soy sauce, I'm going to wait a little bit to go in. The other seasoning that I love, first of all, we all know sriracha. Everybody's like best friend of seasoning. It goes super well in everything. It goes well in eggs. It goes well in this. It goes well, I mean, my gosh, you could put it on pasta or whatever. I put it on my quiche when I make quiche in the morning. It's delicious. However, today I actually wanted a little bit more heat. Don't know why, feeling it. Maybe it's the capsaicin in it. I've been a little bit sore. I've been running a little bit more. So maybe that's what it is, but I'm going with a little bit more heat. This is chili garlic sauce, and it's gonna kick you in the butt, but it also has such a nice finish to it. It's just amazing. Love it. All right, so that's kind of what we've got ready here. Again, I haven't really had to add much yet. Right now, I'm gonna try and put the Brussels sprouts or your cabbage. This would be where you would put that in. And let's let that cook up just a little bit. All right. No soy sauce yet. I'm going to remove this cutting board where the vegetables were. And now I'm ready to work on my meat. Now, my meat is fully cooked. My ham is left over from Easter the other day. And it was really, really good. I did like a ginger type of orange glaze, which actually will fit really well in here. So I'm just taking like a chunk, and really you can customize this too. If you want a lot of pork in your fried rice, by all means, people. This is why I use wood. If I leave it in there like I just did, it actually will be okay. All right, still cooking along, doing good. I'm about ready to start adding some soy sauce into this. All right, so you really could do a bunch of different things with this. If you were going to be real creative, you could do sticks like this and have it in big pieces like you see some pork fried rice. I am not that person for what I prefer, but you can do it any way you want. I just do pork squares, looking a little bit like that. I'd say you probably want to go with the small dice. And my students, hopefully you remember when you're watching this video the size of a small dice. Yeah. I think you should comment below this video on YouTube if you remember the size of it. That way I'll know that you remember it, because we worked on this hard all year. But anyway, just a small dice. I just love dishes that you can reuse stuff, you know, all the leftovers that we have. I know, just been talking with people, a lot of people obviously are cooking for themselves, and you know, sometimes you have a lot of leftover stuff and you don't know what to do with it. You don't. And this is one of those dishes where you could turn whatever into a fried rice that is delicious. And it's awesome. Okay, so I just threw that in there, and I think this is looking pretty good. I don't know if I really want any more meat than that. I think I'm okay. I'm going to go ahead right now and soy sauce to your taste. Here's the deal with soy sauce, people. Okay. You can add a little bit right now and give it some flavor. Soy sauce, just like salt, you can always add more in after the fact. You can never take it out. It is next to impossible to erase too much soy sauce in a dish. It's just uber salty. I mean, you could probably combat it with some acid and some sugar, but I'm not a fan of that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm using my eyeball. I've made this a few times. And I'm going to do about a tablespoon of soy sauce for the amount that I have. Again, I would go probably a little light on it at this time. Okay. Now I'm going to start adding some heat. So I told you I wanted it a little bit hot today. I wasn't joking around. I'm going to probably do between a half tablespoon and a tablespoon of this chili paste. Again, I might want to add more, but I would start small and really kind of taste it out. The first time you make it, you may be like, oh, well, maybe I didn't add enough. Then you can always add some when it's sitting there on your plate. Both soy sauce and that are going to be absolutely great to add at the end. Okay. Now, the big part. Let's get the rice in there, because these vegetables are cooking through. They're kind of al dente, which means to the tooth. They're a little bit crunchy. The fresh ones were. The frozen ones are just going to be what they are, but they add some really good flavor. Frozen vegetables get a bad rap. They really are picked at their prime, and they wind up actually really working well in dishes and tasting pretty good too. But for this, the fresh stuff is going to be what you want to get. You know, maybe a little crunchy, but it's not unpleasingly crunchy in this. All right, so let's go and let's add our brown rice. Just dump it in. Again, this is cooked. I already put it in the microwave. I usually do a little bit of rice every day. Brown rice, again, is really good. I love it. Gives me great energy to do what I do on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so I got my rice in there, and I'm going to see if I can't turn this. Oh, you can see it. Look at that. And I'm just going to kind of get it. And what you're going to see, if there was any oil on the bottom, if you're going, oh no, there's oil on the bottom, guess what sucks up all that oil? You guessed it, the rice. So I'm just going to let this kind of go. I'm going to break it up. Brown rice tends to clump. White rice is fine in this. I don't see why you wouldn't. And I'll tell you, I haven't used jasmine rice in this yet. Or like a long grain, almost like a sushi type of rice. I haven't used that yet. But I bet you, and I hope that somebody tries this that looks at it and tells me how that worked for them. If they have it, I want to see what they can do. All right, so this is looking really good. Remember, I told you that, yeah, this is going to be your pure sesame seed oil. I'm going to put a little bit of that in, and again, if you smell it, it is the biggest like umami, really savory smell to it. It just activates that other sense that you might not always taste your food or see your food with. It's just awesome. The one ingredient that I'm missing today that I'm super sad about that you can put in there is rice wine vinegar. Again, it's found exactly where all these other products are. I just didn't have any here in the house today. I'm a little sad, but so this will be pretty good, but not like amazing. Rice wine vinegar, I'm going to go ahead and add about, comes out a little slower, about 1.5 teaspoons right now. And then you're going to see what I do with it in a little bit. Rice wine vinegar just gives the fried rice its tang. It just is that little back tang to it. Oh, hey, did I mention you could do this with shrimp? Yeah, you could cut up shrimp, or you could use the smaller type of shrimp, whatever you can get your hands on. Heck, man, you could probably even do this if you had crab legs one night and you're like, yeah, I got this crab leg stuff. We couldn't eat them all. What can I do? Take it out of the shell and make crab fried rice. That would be amazing. I would totally eat that. Totally. Now, we are looking real good. Are you ready for this? I am hopeful that I can do this so that you can actually see it in the bowl. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push all of my rice to one side. So I'm going to make like a little well in there. Oh, I wish I had better production value on this. But I'm going to push it all to the right side here. Okay. So I wish you could see it. Let me see if I can lift up the computer. Look at that. Okay, so I made a little area there. And in that area, what I'm going to do, and this is going to require a little concentration on my part here, but I'm going to do probably about a capful. So maybe about almost a tablespoon, 3/4-ish of some canola oil. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some sesame oil, do about 3-4 shakes in it. I'm going to let that heat up. Meanwhile, this could be our scrambled egg thing. So meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and crack these eggs. Now, I'm going to scramble it right in there, but I'm going to crack the egg into a separate container. Why do I crack it into a separate container, you might ask? Oh, whoop, popping at me. That's the rice. I am going to crack it in here because you should always do this when you're baking. If you don't do it, please start. The reason is, it's making a little hole. The reason is, you might have a bad egg. And if you put a bad egg into a mixture like this, not good. Woo! We got rice popping, people. Okay, so here are my 2 eggs. They're ready to go. My pan is telling me it is ready. And we're putting it in. And I'm going to bust it up in here. And you can see I'm doing a swirling motion. and I am literally making scrambled egg. I can't see it. Scrambled egg in the pot. Now, some people just coat their rice right away. They coat their rice right away, and that's how they do it. Great. Not how I do it. I like chunks of egg in my fried rice. So I just scrambled it up, and now it's just sitting in there. And I'm just going to push it around the pan, and it's going to be fabulous. I do 2 eggs in mine. If you're, that's plenty for this amount that we're doing. You know, it's really up to you. If you feel like you want more, by all means, people. This is only, you know, a rule of thumb. And again, I didn't put a lot of amounts in here because you could be making this for just you. You could be making this for like you and one other person who's on a business call right now and is going to be real hungry when he's done. My kids, if I was making it for all 4 of us, they're upstairs actually doing schoolwork right now. They've already eaten. They don't want this at this point. So you can really adjust it up to whatever you think is going to work. And by the way, this makes a really good breakfast too. Just saying. So, all right, so my eggs are scrambled. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn off this burner. And I am going to incorporate all the egg right into the rice. Just like this. It's looking amazing. Smelling even better. And we've got some 100% incredible fried rice. There you go. Now you could plate this, I'm just going to eat it kind of as is, but you could go ahead and, I'll show you a little plating here, why not? You could go ahead and put some green onion up on top of this. I always like to say in my classroom, my students will tell you, you pop the height and you pop the color. That's how you get a successful dish. If you are plating, you keep it centrally located on the plate. Pop the height, pop the color. Okay? I think I gotta pay homage. Gotta pay homage to my sriracha here. Put a little bit of, maybe I'll do the chili paste. Brand new sriracha. But yeah, you could really do this with pretty much anything. You're good to go. Open this up. Probably should have opened this up first. There we go. You could do, I guess, more vegetables on it, but just be careful because it might just get a little too crunchy for you. All right. A little bit of a sriracha on there. You could do some green onions, which sadly I don't have, but that's it. There you go with some amazing fried rice. Right now on the clock, I started this and I was gabbing a lot. 28 minutes from leftovers and other stuff you might have around to dinner or a meal on the table. I hope you guys like this. I really want to see if any of you make this. I'm going to put this on Facebook too. If any of you make some fried rice, I totally want to see it. I just love when I see people getting so creative with dishes. So I hope everybody is safe and well. Make sure we're washing our hands. Make sure we're staying as socially distant as we can. But being socially distant doesn't mean that you can't connect with others. So be there for one another. I'm here for you if you need anything. If this video gave you a laugh, I hope it did. Anyway, take care, everybody, and keep on cooking.